Hello, I'm Dave Kassler, and we're doing some flying on Friday, and it's the 4th of March. And I'm finally back in the air. Also flew on Wednesday with my instructor, Dennis Dugan. And here we waited for that Cessna to pull off the runway before we take off for our own little flying. I am recording this with a little GoPro. It's a GoPro 7 Silver, and it's mounted on one of the struts on the wing on the left side, the port side of the aircraft. And we spent some time doing some landings. You can see that the weather is a little iffy. It's kind of cold, not too bad really, but we're going to go ahead and fly. By the time we finished flying, we had a pretty strong crosswind. The idea was to practice landings. Now the problem is you can't just do one landing right after another. You have to take off, go all the way around, and then come back and land. And the actual landing part that we're interested in practicing is just a few seconds. And then you got to do it all over again and come around to get another few seconds of practice on that. So we are at Delta Blake Airfield. That's KAJZ, Kilo Alpha Juliet Zulu, in Delta, Colorado. And here we are taking off. This is about a 5,500 foot runway, so there's plenty of room for my little Rans S6 to take off there. Now, as soon as we get up here, I'm going to cut to the chase. We're going to cut to the landing and see what we can do with those. And you know, as I was saying at the Aero Club meeting this morning, I'm a week away from soloing and always will be. At least that's what it seems like. So let's just flip around here and take a little bit of a look at the city of Delta. Okay, we're going to flip right around. We're coming over Delta and we'll come in for the landing here. Prior to Wednesday, I hadn't flown in quite a while. The aircraft was having its annual done. There were problems with weather. We went down to Quartz Fest too, so that took up some time. I did go once after the airplane came out of annual to fly with a different instructor, but the problem there was we had issues with the ignition. Turned out one of the plug wires had not been put back on properly, and by the time we got all that sorted out, there wasn't any time left to fly. Wednesday was an absolutely beautiful day, blue sky, no wind. Here we are on Friday, and boy, the weather can certainly change fast in Colorado. It was actually forecast to snow, but didn't. Now we're coming around, and you'll see the runway appearing on the right of the screen as we turn toward it. One of the things Dennis has asked me to do is square up this approach to the runway a little bit. I tend to kind of cut this corner coming into the runway. You can actually see the runway. It's just right there. Well, it'll become very apparent in a hurry. So we're going to make this one landing. It was a very good landing, nice and smooth and all that. But anyway, here is the runway. We're starting to have just a little bit of trouble with crosswinds, but we get lined up on the runway just fine, and we're okay. There's a lot of things going on right now, and you know, through my poor little head, we're actually a little below glide slope here, so we hit it with a little bit of power to bring us in, keep our altitude up till we get up over the runway, and now we can move that off just a little bit. We find that we're landing or doing the final approach at about 1,500 RPM, and that's a fairly good approach to, or a fairly good engine speed to land at. There we are. Okay, so let's go down to the end of the runway and take off one more time, and we'll have one more landing. I do not know why, but the GoPro, after a little bit, just decided to stop taking video. It took one video and it rolls over after 17 minutes and starts another file. But it should do this for the entire flight. The battery's in good shape. It should last the entire flight, an hour or more, and photograph the whole thing. Certainly the memory card is not an issue because that card is huge. It's 128 gigabyte of and can store lots of video. This is full HD. I have not tried to take pictures in 4K. I may at some point. Another thing I need to do is get the intercom video, not video, the intercom audio onto the film too. Now we're just going to come down here and make this approach to land here, and we're going to land, and suddenly it stops taking video, and I don't know why. So if you have a silver Hero 7 GoPro camera, let me know what the problem is. I have not had this problem before. Here we are coming in a little higher and doing real well. By the way the camera is, it can't tell much difference between the red and white light. But that's going to be it. The video will end because the camera just stopped taking pictures. So, bye!